good news or the bad news? Good news, we're on a really, really long unbeaten run, which is always good. Bad news, we've hardly won any of them. Hello and welcome to part 19 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against Leamington and then at home against Lowestoft in the National League North. Since you were last with me, as mentioned in the little intro there, we are on a long unbeaten run. We haven't lost for a long time, but we also have only won 3 games in this long run, and they were all in the FA Cup. Oh, we haven't won a league game since it's like 6 weeks ago. So because of that, we're tumbling down the league a little bit. It's not letting me click on the league for some reason. Can we click on the league? No, we have to go up here to click on the league, do we? So we've fallen down to 6th place and we're now 11 points behind Chester after saying it's nice to still be keeping pace with Chester. We've not kept pace with Chester at all. We've pretty much already ruled ourselves out of automatic promotion because Chester are just running away with it. And now it becomes the same story as we've had for the last 2 years, trying to get into the playoffs and trying to get as high up as we possibly can. But the route into the playoffs is via winning football matches, and we really need to start winning some football matches, and we've not got one today. We've just played I've got to stop saving the game after I finish a game. I'll be back in a minute on match day. We're in the first round of the FA Cup, by the way, which is always good. So here we go then, hopefully a return to winning ways coming up, and this is the team that we're going to be putting out there to try and achieve exactly that. We've got Linus in goal, a back four of Anderson, Erkalani, Clark and Birch. I am wondering if we should do this, because this is what we have. This is what we had before, I think. Let's make them defensive centre-backs and just see if that is a big difference maker, getting them playing in a comfortable role. And then we've got Elliott, Wheatley and George in midfield with Nicholson in behind, Tomlinson and Chambers up front. Ashley Chambers not scoring quite as prolifically as he was, 8 goals in 13. He's still doing all right. We have had injuries to the players who've been playing around him, though, with both Tomlinson and Coombe, is that the name of the other guy? Both having time out of the team in recent weeks because of knocks. But Tomlinson's back today. Coombe's still not fit to play. So the Willis, is that the name of the reserve poacher? I haven't learnt all these new signings' names yet. Willis, there we go. He's going to be on the bench again. And to be fair, he's done all right when he's been coming on. He's been looking quite impressive. So I think as the season goes on and he gets a bit more experience, gets a little bit older, and Chambers starts to get a little bit older as well. They're both aging this season. I have clarified it. Then I think Willis will eventually start to push Chambers for his spot. It's not happening yet, but if Chambers stops scoring and Willis continues doing all right off the bench, it might happen at some point. It's why we wanted a backup poacher, so we could offer some competition for places when Chambers goes through his rough patch mid-season that he always seems to go through. As we've discussed before, Ashley Chambers doesn't like playing in the cold, so once the temperature drops too far, we'll have to whip him out of the team and get Willis in. But we are 1-0 down again. I say again, we're not losing lots of matches, but I have forgotten what it's like to win in the league. And yeah, I don't understand. Especially now I've got, if you're not up to date with Non-League Legend, potential spoilers ahead. But now I know that it is possible to win a league at this level with only 2 years of assembling a team on a third of this budget. I've got it in me. I just don't seem to be able to do it with Nuneaton. You know, the team that I've committed to not leaving. Managed to do it with Bath, who I didn't have to win the league with them. I just had to do well enough to get a job higher up. But with Nuneaton, I actually have to do my promotions myself. And despite having 3 times the amount of money to spend as I had at Bath, we're not close to being the same team as we had with them. Even though individually, I'm looking through this thinking, is there anyone in that Bath team that won the National League South? Is there anyone in that team who I'd put in this Nuneaton team? I don't think there is. I don't think I would pick any of them ahead of the guys in this team. The midfield in that team was rubbish. We had a couple of decent wingers, but I hate wingers. And I wouldn't drop Jordan Nicholson to bring either of those wingers in, or both of those wingers. If you offered me 12 men and said, drop Nicholson and bring the 2 wingers from Bath into the team, you can have them both, 12 men. I'd say no, I want Nicholson in my team. I might pick the strikers from that team ahead of the strikers from this team, maybe. But I'd do it really reluctantly. I just don't understand. Oh, I don't understand. It's so confusing. The 4-3-1-2, I guess, is not working. I think that's the conclusion we've got to come to. We tried 5-3-2 for a while. We've now had close to half a season of 4-3-1-2. This isn't working either, although it did early in the season. But if we end this episode out of the playoff places, I think that's a pretty strong message that we need to change things up again. Whether it means going back to the 3 at the back, because at least it was a bit more defensively solid, a bit more consistent. Whether it means going to a diamond, that might be worth... I mean, we talked about it early on and then started winning, so we stopped worrying about it. But, I mean, we could even do that now. Just see what difference it makes for the last 20 minutes of the game. Or maybe we need to quit messing around with narrow formations and see what happens if we actually try and attack. Actually try and use some width. Maybe. I don't know. There you go. We'll try a diamond for 20 minutes and see if we're any better with a diamond. I suspect we probably won't be, but I certainly don't see how it can make us more attacking and more likely to score goals, which is where we've fallen down in this game, because we've conceded 2 goals and won matches a gazillion times before. We don't need to shore up the defence that much so we don't concede 2 goals to be able to win matches. We've not scored today. That's where the problem is. And it's because Chambers has stopped scoring, but he's not on the pitch now. So Tomlinson finds Patterson, who can't slot it through to Willis, who was dancing around ahead of him. Now George has got a lot of time and space here to do something with it, but he puts it out to Freestone, which isn't really what I would have done. But Patterson's now got it in a dangerous area, finds Willis, who forces a save out of the Leamington keeper. Would have liked to see him do a little bit better with that. I've been bigging him up while he wasn't on the pitch, and he comes on and does a thing like that. But I mean, it was a decent shot. It was a good save, but really would have hoped for a little bit better. Birch now to George, who again has got time and space, finds Patterson. Willis is in behind, and he's had 2 really good chances now. And I have to wonder, would Ashley Chambers have scored? I mean, looking at the stats, this has been a fairly even game. And we actually, rightly, can probably feel a bit hard done by the scoreline at the moment. I don't think we've played disastrously poorly. We've just had not a lot of luck in front of goal where they've had... I mean, they've been efficient. It's not that they've had luck. They've scored their 2 clear-cut chances. We've had 1 and missed it. We had 4 half chances as well and missed all of them. But I think a lot of that has come since Willis has been on the pitch, because I think the clear-cut chances probably the 2 that have fallen to him. So I wonder if that's a personnel difference or if it's the diamond that's made that difference. Again, I don't see how moving from a 4-3-1-2 to a diamond makes you better going forward, unless it allows the fullbacks to push on that little bit more, because you've got a midfielder in there to cover. And if that's what's doing it, then perhaps that is an argument for switching it up to this. But the argument I always throw straight back, if we're going to do a diamond, why not just bring him back all the way and do 3 at the back and play with proper wing-backs? Answers on a postcard. Because, I mean, that makes sense to me. And if we're going to drop a player back there, drop him back all the way, we've got better centre-backs than we have holding midfield players. Do I need to just go and sign some wingers? We won the league with Bath with a 4-4-2. Have I really got to lower myself to that and do a 4-4-2 with Nuneaton as well? I don't know if I can do it. But at the same time, I can't finish outside the playoffs this year, so I've got to do something. Right, I've made a few tweaks to try and make it into a system that makes a little bit more sense. We're going for an anchor man just to literally just sit there. We haven't really got one who can do it. Wheatley's going to have a go. If the system looks like it's working, we're going to go out and try and find a proper one. Anderson wants to really push on and attack, so it makes sense to me to change the fullbacks to wing-backs, push Anderson on as attacking down this side where we've got Elliott on support. Well, on this side where we've got George attacking, let's have Birch on support. I'm trying to apply some logic to this. In that vein, I don't know if I've got the 2 forwards the right way around. I think I probably have. If Anderson's going to push on past Tomlinson, I think, but it might not be. I don't know. I do feel a lot like if we're going to do this, then we may as well drop him back there and push those 2 forward. But then we did over a season of that, and it didn't work out for us. So was that because the system doesn't work? Is it because the team instructions didn't work? Did we even use team instructions with that 5-3-2? I feel like we maybe didn't. Or was it working and I threw it away at the wrong moment? Perhaps if we'd have stayed with that, we'd have fared better in the playoffs. Oh, I'm second guessing myself 3 times over. I might be guessing correctly again. I'm going back and forth so many times. Hopefully we show some signs of life in this match. And oh, goodness me. I wouldn't be at all surprised, boys and girls, if we've got 3 at the back again for the next episode. If I'm still in a job, this will be 8 games without a win if we don't win today. 8 games without a win when I've told the players we're going to get promoted this year. The board and the media are still saying mid-table, which I still find inexplicable with the amount of money that we've had for wage budget. All 3 seasons that we've been here, we've had so much money. We're a professional club at this level, surrounded by semi-pro clubs. And we're just rubbish. We really are very bad at football matches at the moment. We won like 5 games in a row at the start of the year. We were keeping pace with Chester, even on that first game of the season. Yeah, they were all over us in the first half, but we got back into it and we pushed them all the way and we looked really good. And I think we've just had the stuffing knocked out of us through too many poor performances in a row. And I do feel like we're probably going to be returning to the 3 at the back in the very near future. Chambers misses. Is it my reliance on him that's a problem? Kalani's now taking the corners. By the way, Udinese now want him again. They've started scouting us again. After scouting him for the second half of last season and never making an offer, losing interest over the summer and not coming in for him, allowing us... I mean, his contract was up. We offered him a new one. They could have stepped in at any time and offered him a pre-contract. They didn't. They decided they were done with him. And then 10 games into this season, just as we hit poor form, they're now in for him again, or they want him, and they're scouting all our matches. It is the weirdest thing. If they want him, why didn't they take him on trial in the summer? Why didn't they offer him a contract in the summer? I mean, a club of their size, they could have just offered him the £400 a week he gets here and said, here you go, have a year's contract with us, and we'll spend a year having a look at you. It's going to be cheaper than flying over to Nuneaton every week to watch you play for them. Which it would be. I don't understand the logic. Just give the man a contract. He's Italian. Take him to Italy. He can live with his mum and dad. And it just doesn't make any sense. But I guess they have their reasons. But if they now scout him for another year and still don't sign him, I'm starting to get very confused about how football works. Hang about. The man who's not winning for the 8th game in a row is confused about how football works? Never. Oh, I want the solution to leap out and slap me in the face. I think, and I hate to admit this, because they're the only 2 original. In fact, 2 of the 3 originals that we've got left now. I think the biggest problem we've had all the way through is Jordan Nicholson and Ashley Chambers, our 2 best players, because Nicholson can only play in the middle as an attacking midfielder. So every formation we try has to try and accommodate him because he's our best player. And we had this problem at Bath with Doughty and just stopped playing him in the end. And that's when we won the league. It's all coming clear to me. I think we need to go 4-4-2. And if Nicholson can't play in it, not play Nicholson. And I think we need to replace Ashley Chambers with someone who's going to score consistently 1 or 2 a game. Yeah, that's all I want. A striker who's going to score at least once a game. But I don't want a guy who scores 3 hat-tricks in a row, then doesn't score for 10 games, then gets 3 hat-tricks in a row again. Because it's nice when he's scoring goals, but for most of the season when he's not, we can't win matches. And at the end of the year, he then looks good. He finishes on 30-plus goals like he did last year. But if you really drill down and analyse the pattern of scoring those goals, he scores them in big, big bunches and then goes long periods of time without scoring at all. And believe it or not, those runs of form for Ashley Chambers coincide with our runs of form. And although he can still look good statistically by having 10 good games a season and getting 2 or 3 goals in them, if we only have 10 good games a season, we're a mid-table team. And I'm just going to make my 3rd sub now. What's the point? What's the point in waiting? We've lost this game already. We're showing nothing to get us back into it. I don't have anyone to play in a 4-4-2. That's the problem. We've maxed out our wage budget. I think I might go back to the 3-5-2. And we might just play through most of this season offline. Check in every now and again, but get this season out of the way. And then try and have a proper summer next year and build for... If we don't go up this year, which it's looking almost impossible already, we just think, right, we've done 3 years of paying Chambers and Nicholson a lot of money. It hasn't come off. Let's get rid of them and build again into a system that we've seen with Bath works. Because, like I said before, we had 1/3 of the budget and a year's less time and we won the league. Here we are with Nuneaton in our 3rd season with all that extra money, all that time to sign and whatever players we wanted. I don't remember a player we've missed out on, really. Robles maybe, and perhaps he'd have been a difference maker. But by and large, we get who we want because we're professional and we can pay more than everyone else. But we can't keep being this rubbish. Willis has just scored again, by the way. He's doing all right. We've got Jonathan Nixon knocking around the squad somewhere as well, who people keep telling me in their saves scores goals for fun, and we've never really given him a chance. In non-league to legend, he plays for someone else in the National League South. He was let go by Alfreton, and he scores like 25 goals a season for him. And he never even gets on our bench. That's the confusion I'm in. We should be better than everybody else, and we're not. And so it must be the tactic. Back to the drawing board. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager content. Thank you very much for watching.